We can also solve rationals or a system of equations by graphing. We can do this by hand, or we can do this using the calculator. One of the things I want to reiterate before we use the calculator is our restriction for our domain. Because we cannot have 0 in the denominator, our domain has a restriction. X cannot equal -1. X cannot equal -1. Because of this problem, if there were a way to cancel it in the numerator, then it would be a hole in the graph. Since there's not, we have a vertical asymptote at x equals -1. So I have a vertical line that is my asymptote, and I use a dotted line to show that. Now, to graph this, I also see that my x is on the bottom. It's where my highest power is. So that tells me I have a horizontal asymptote at 0. At y equals 0 is where my horizontal asymptote will be. These are the boundaries for my graph. Now because I want to do this to see where my graph goes, I need to make some points that come in pretty good. So I'm going to plug in a few points to make sure that I get some good dots on the graph. If I put in a 0, that 0 plus 1 is 1, so 3 divided by 1 would be 3. So 0, 3 is a point on the graph. If I put in 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. So 3 over 2 is 1.5. If I plug in 2, I get 2 plus 1, which is 3. 3 over 3 is 1. And I can see how my graph is coming. So I'm going to kind of sketch it in here. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to sketch. I'm going to tilt it a little bit so I get my lines to go. There we go. Now there's part of it. And now I realize that the graph does have some values on the other side, so I'm going to plug in -2. -2 plus 1 is -1, so 3 over -1 is -3. If I put in -2, I get -3. If I put in -3, I get -2 on bottom. So 3 over -2 is -1.5. If I put in -4, I'm going to get -3, which is going to be 3 over -3, which is 1. And again, I can kind of see how my graph is going, and I'm going to kind of sketch it. Now, this method is finding my asymptotes and then plugging points in to see where the graph goes. The other equation that I need to graph is 3x plus 3. Now, to remember how to solve that, or to graph that, this is my y-intercept at -3. I'm going to put a circle on that since it's right there, make it a little bigger. My slope is 3, so I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and right 1. I can also come down 3, 1, 2, 3, and left 1. 1, 2, 3, and left 1. So I'm back to there. So the two large circles are where the two functions will intersect. So my two solutions, this point is at 0, 3, and this point is at -2, -3. Now that's finding it by hand. I also want to show you finding it on the calculator. I'm going to slide this up just a little bit. There we go, so we can see it all. Turn on my calculator. So I'm going to plug in my two equations. So I have alpha y equals for my fraction. I have 3 on top, and on bottom x plus 1. And now for my second equation, it's 3x plus 3. And I'm going to graph. It graphed first the rational expression and then the line. You'll notice that the two graphs look exceedingly similar because they should be the same graph. Now, how do I find these 2 points of intersection on the calculator? Well, if you will go to, let's see if we can slide up here, second and calculate, it brings up a menu. And what you want is the intersection, number 5. It's asking me for the first curve. I'm going to slide my graph over because I want to do this one first. See how it's moving? So I pressed the left arrow key till I could see it flashing here. I'm going to press enter. Excuse me. It says second curve. I'm down here on the line. I'm going to press enter. Now it wants a guess. I'm just going to press enter. And it tells me the point is -2, -3. Well, that's indeed what we had found right here. -2, -3. Now let's find the other one. We're going to do it again. Second, and calculate. Intersect, number 5. First curve. Let's come over here to where we're a little closer to it. We should see, see how we've got it flashing up here? I'm going to press enter. It's down here on the line. I'm going to press enter, and my guess is close. So, I got this answer that looks a little strange. -1.37 e to the -14th power. That is -0.0000000000000137. That is an exceedingly small number. For all intents purposes, that is 0.3. Some calculators will come out with this kind of scientific notation for a very small number. Sometimes it will come out with 0. It just depends on the calculator. But this is how we solve a system of rationals by graphing.